Hello and welcome to another Ship Buyer's Guide. The MISC Endeavour is a massive science and research ship, and it's on concept sale until the 10th of October. The Endeavour, every module and configuration are sold with LTI, lifetime insurance, for the duration of this sale, and any prices mentioned are excluding taxes. The whole design is hugely modular, but the base hull that every Endeavour has is at its core. It's 200 metres long, and to put that in perspective, it's about, well, almost 3 Retaliators in length, 28 metres wide and 20 metres tall. It is a big ship. It can carry 500 standard cargo units and has 2 size 3 unmanned turrets, coming with laser repeaters as standard, so there's not really much protection there. Engine-wise, it's a bit more complicated. The ship is divided into 3 major sections. The Explorer. Science and exploration have always gone hand in hand. The Endeavour is a multi-stage ship that allows an armoured Explorer cab to detach and operate under its own power in extreme conditions. Designed with the armour and shielding needed to survive everything from micrometeorite strikes to survey missions dangerously close to a star's corona. The Endeavour's Explorer can completely detach from the scientific workshop on the back and operate on its own, featuring everything short of a jump drive. The Explorer's cab is intended for risky operations where the workshop may otherwise suffer costly damage or potential destruction. This front section houses the main bridge and 2 large engines to propel it. The workshop is the fully modular spine section of the ship, which offers a 3x2 grid of 6 attach points for various modules. Most are constructed by MISC, although the company has made the attach points open source to encourage future niche pod development. When left on orbit, the workshop and drive unit can continue to function together as a dry lab installation. So this workshop unit basically houses all of the modules. It's where all the modules attach to and will continue to function even if the front of the ship is detached. However, it will be extremely vulnerable in this state. The drive unit, or the back end of the Endeavour, is a powerful drive unit which has been designed to generate the necessary power to both support the add-ons and also future pod attachments currently in development. It contains a capital class power plant and the ship's main thrusters and engines. Note that the drive unit does not attach from the workshop while in space, and is unavailable to manoeuvre without the Explorer's cab attached to the front. The drive unit is basically 7 giant engines and the power block that allows the ship modules to function and the whole ship to jump, as the Explorer section does not have its own jump drive. The base Endeavour is available for $350 during the sale, but modules make this ship. The Endeavour can have a variety of modules attached to it, giving it a vast array of uses. The Endeavour's modularity is based on a plug-and-play grid concept system that allows for up to 6 independent modules attached to the actual spine at any one time. Modules are typically installed in a balanced, symmetrical kind of pairs fashion to preserve the preset thruster system. Each module lists the number of slots it takes, ranging from 2x1, which would be 2 spaces, ranging all the way up to 3x2, which would be all 6 slots being used in the future. Further restrictions on individual module connections may apply, such as a module limit. The medical modules outfit the Endeavour with all the equipment necessary to heal or cure any form of injury or illness that one might encounter while travelling from world to world. That alone guarantees that an enterprising player maintaining a presence in a popular area of space, ignored possibly by other Endeavours, will see a brisk demand for their services. Medical modules, however, fulfill a more fundamental role in the verse. They act as remote spawn points for both players and some smaller ships. When a player dies, they'll have the option of respawning at any landing zone equipped with a hospital for a minimal charge. Alternatively, one may inspect the prices being offered by all nearby Endeavours equipped with a medical module that have an activated ID beacon to determine whether they spawn into that ship. After a player has respawned into the hospital section of an Endeavour, they are granted access to a waiting room where they'll be able to order any of several smaller ships if there is an appropriate hangar available attached. The The Endeavour's owner has to pay a premium for the rapid and remote delivery of such ships, and in turn is able to dictate the amount of profit that they require. Upon arrival of the ship, the respawned player and any of their party members that are also residing within the waiting room may enter the hangar bay, aboard the new ship, and continue their way. Most organisations will want at least one Endeavour in their armada, and will want to keep it nearby, but at a safe distance when combat looms. You'll be able to set them to only allow certain players to spawn there. The actual medical bay pod is a large 2x2 sized module, or 4 spaces of room, and the attached rooms operate effectively as a hospital, complete with operating theatres, recovery rooms, and lots more. The Endeavour's medical bay is intended to operate alongside the optional landing bay, which will allow you to ferry patients from battlefields and for more ships to land there. And it's available for $75. The landing bay pod slings a single large hangar underneath the spacecraft, and it attaches directly to the other pods. Intended to support hospital operations, the landing bay has room to support multiple Cutlass Reds and features complete decontamination facilities. Note that while the landing bay was designed to support ambulance operations, it also functions alongside the standard science modules and can support the upkeep of sufficiently small spacecraft. Limited to 1 per Endeavour and available for $75. It's not going to be able to make the ship into a giant carrier. The biodome modules allow for various forms of plant life to be grown in a tightly controlled environment and then harvested for profit. The basic requirements for farming are soil, fertiliser, seeds, water, all of which can be purchased at a garden supply store that will be located in most major landing zones, or in some cases mined or extracted from some exotic environment. Farming is a labour-intensive process, though, that requires fairly meticulous attention to detail. There are 2 parts to the basic puzzle of farming: ascertaining exactly what a particular plant species requires in order to thrive, and giving that to them at the appropriate time. The variables include quantity and quality of soil, the type of fertiliser, temperature, amount of water, and the type and quantity of radiation. Each biodome module will consist of 2 biodomes, each of which would then consist of multiple discrete sections, including gardening beds where different species can be planted. Each section can have various variables such as amounts of water, fertilisation, heating, lighting. All of this needs to be tweaked for the best results. Each species of plant is effectively a puzzle, and it is the job of the farmer to figure out what is the optimal solution in order to produce the highest quality plants at the lowest price. And there will be a large variety of plants and ways to farm and ways to sell or use them. The Endeavour's biodome pods were designed to support ongoing agricultural operations, adapting and growing foodstuff that can be sold for profit. You can have a maximum of 2 sets of biodomes. Each set comes with 2 separate biodomes, and they are 2 by 1 in size for each set, so they take up 2 spaces. They're available for $100. The optional telescope array turns the Endeavour into an extremely powerful mobile stellar observatory, with an array of instrumentation that allows crews to gather data from the depths of space itself. This data, useful for everything from standard nav studies, rich asteroid field locations, to jump point discovery, and then after you discover that, you can sell that data. You can exploit it and actually go to those locations, or you can just sell the info. You will have to search the skies manually though, moving your telescope and focusing it on objects and anomalies. Some information can be obtained just by correctly adjusting your scope, while others will require the dispatch of a long-range probe. The arrays are limited to 1 per Endeavour, and each array is 2 by 1 in size. It takes up 2 slots of space. It is available for $125. The Super Collider is the most visually unique Endeavour module. The distinct circular Super Collider is actually only one small piece of a more elaborate overclocking facility. This large module includes a pair of White Room workbench labs, ideal for tweaking and overclocking Starship components. Enthusiasts and professionals seeking to push their weapons, thrusters, or other upgrades to the limit can do so with atomic precision, thanks to the attached accelerator that allows for a safe testing of new theoretical limits, raising the bar on component performance as high as possible. This will enable you to generate income by tweaking weapons and equipment and then selling them, as well as potentially making your organisation very happy by making their weapons more shooty. The module is 2x2 in size, so it takes up 4 units of space, and it is available for $125. But the giant ring does make the ship look a little bit like it's a strangled elephant. Multi-purpose modules and pods. These remaining modules have multiple uses. They can be used to augment the running of the ship or the usefulness of other modules. There's no limit to the amount you can have on a ship other than the space of 6 slots available for mounting them on the Endeavour. The Service and Equipment Crew Enclosure, CASE, allows additional crew facilities to the Endeavour, allowing the workshop module to function as a standalone installation for longer missions, or for the overall ship to support additional crew in general. It's a 2x1 size pod, so that's 2 spaces, and is $25. The General Research Pod, or GRP, is intended as a multi-use facility that can support a variety of active scientific pursuits. Zero-gravity experiments, biology studies, and all that sort of jazzy research stuff that you want to do. With internal slots for precision scanners, sample and specimen collections, spectrometers, chemical analyzers. The GRP is capable of cataloguing new experimental data as well as producing cutting-edge compounds. So this is intended for legal use, this pod, but you can make space drugs with it if you want to. If you want a meth lab in space, then this is a pod for you. Again, it's a 2x1 size pod taking up 2 spaces, and it's available for $45. The General Science Pod. This is an analytical module with installation points for a variety of scientific computers and data banks. The GSP, the General Science Pod, is orientated towards inward-facing processing of data gathered from elsewhere, featuring extensive systems for turning the raw information gathered by systems like the GRP, or the General Research Pod, and the Telescope Array into valuable data for sell or trade. The General Science Pod module is 2x1 again, so it's 2 sections of space, and is available for $45. The Fuel Pod takes up a minimal amount of space to add additional fuel for long duration missions. Effectively a large drop tank, the Fuel Pod is typically used by Endeavour crews venturing further into the unknown. So that module is available for $35 and again is 2x1. It takes up 2 units of space. So that's all of the modules that you can mix and match with currently. But remember, there is only 6 slots of space available. Some of the modules take up more space than others, and some modules are limited to 1 or 2 per ship. You can, however, change these modules around for different roles and missions if you're at an appropriate dock. And some of the modules may work well together, like the medical and landing bay, or the GSP and the telescope array. They are designed to work effectively together. As stated earlier, the base Endeavour is $350, but during the sale there are a few other pre-made common Endeavour configurations that can be purchased at a discount rather than purchasing the modules and Endeavour separately. The Discovery class includes the Endeavour, a service and crew enclosure, a general research lab pod, a general science pod, and is typically used for everything from mobile medical research to an exoarchaeology lab to less legitimately illegal drug production. It would cost $465 to buy all those parts separately. The Hope class is $450 and it was dubbed the Hope class by the United Empire of Earth, which uses the design as a troop support ship. This medical variant of the Endeavour comes with a medical bay and a landing bay. Purchasing it separately would cost $500. The Olympic class, constructed primarily for the pursuit of agricultural science, the Olympic class Endeavour includes 2 sets of biodome pods for a total of 4 completely self-contained farming environments. Purchasing separately would cost $550, but is available for $500 during the sale. You can even purchase the master set for $900, so this is basically one of each of the available current modules and the Endeavour. Obviously, you can only have a maximum of the 6 slots filled at any one time, and this would normally cost $1,000. Now, with all that said, these ships and modules are all obtainable in-game. Lifetime insurance isn't actually that much of a benefit. You can pay a small amount of UEC in-game to get stuff insured, and you should only really be buying ships, especially ships like this, to aid the funding of Star Citizen, rather than trying to get some form of in-game advantage, and you should only then be doing it if you have the spare disposable income. Otherwise, you may be disappointed. For me, I love the look and idea of the Endeavour, a top-tier science and economy ship. But this is no means going to be the only science ship or only science module ship available. They will work on varieties of other science and sciencey type things for a variety of different ships. I'd expect the Constellation, maybe the Carrack, to be a little bit sciencely modular. I mean, I just made up some words there, but you get my gist. Anyway, guys, I hope that allows you to make more of a decision on whether you want to purchase an Endeavour now or not. There are lots of Q&As coming up very soon over the next week, as well as possibly some more information on science, so we'll keep you up to date with that. Anyway, guys, take care. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the verse.